moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
3-2 pitch. Rise does not run. Manny sends it in the air to deep left center field. Moniak's at the wall. Looking up. It's going to go. 2-run homer, Manny Machado. His 23rd of the year. And 3 batters into this game. The Padres take a 2-0 lead.
Plenty of Padre power on this Sunday afternoon in the Mile High City. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. The Padres win it by a final score of 8-1 as they win the rubber match of this 3-game series against the Rockies. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Hey player, the all-new Jamul Casino Resort is now open with a Lux Hotel Tower, rooftop pool, spa, and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. The Padres bust out the bats for a second consecutive day, 8 runs on 15 hits, including 4 home runs in today's game for the Padres. Manny Machado hit the first one, and then a number of other guys getting in on the fun. Jackson Merrill, his 10th home run of the year. Ramon Laureano, his 23rd. Gavin Sheets, his 19th. Padres had 8 runs on 15 hits. So after losing a really disappointing game on Friday, a 5th consecutive loss, getting shut out in Denver, which seemed unimaginable when you consider the names in the Padres lineup and playing at the elevation. The fact that the Rockies came into this series with 101 losses. Well, the Padres, to their credit, they bounced back in a big way the final 2 games of this series, 18 runs combined on a total of 31 hits in the final 2 games of this series, and a ton of power here today. And that's where the conversation begins today. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We have the full game recap, all the radio highlights coming up for you. But the Padres, like Jesse and Bob alluded to in the post-game wrap-up, they just took care of business these last couple of days. Obviously, a very frustrating game on Friday, but the Padres really could not lose this series. Yes, they've struggled against teams like the Twins and the Orioles, and then Friday night against the Rockies, but you just felt like after losing Friday night, Padres had to find a way to win the next 2 games and get 2 out of 3 in Colorado, and they did exactly that. Offense, again, top to bottom in the lineup today, really good. Again, taking care of business, doing what you feel like they should be able to do against this Rockies pitching staff in Colorado against this type of team. And now the question becomes this: as the Padres begin a new week, they've got a much different opponent, the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are trying to claw their way into this wild card picture. They took 2 out of 3 from the Mets after losing their series opener on Friday. They are really trying to get back in this thing. We'll talk more about the standings and the series against Cincinnati coming up a little bit later. But the hope, I think, now is that the Padres got right a little bit in Colorado the last couple of days. Manny Machado hitting a home run, hopefully a sign of things to come for him. Fernando with a nice series and hitting the home run yesterday, entering today's game with 3 home runs in his last 10 games. Hopefully a sign of things to come for him. Jackson Merrill, 3 hits in today's game. He's been in the midst of a really tough stretch. Hopefully a sign of things to come for him. Freddie Fermin getting it going again. List goes on and on. That's what you hope, is that this can serve as sort of a get-right series for the Padres, and now they can bring it back home. And remember, they face the Rockies Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this coming week during this 7-game homestand. So they will see the Rockies again. But first things first, it's a big series against Cincinnati coming up Monday through Wednesday. And again, to me, the hope is now, okay, you had the 5-game losing streak. You have 9 of 11 losses against teams that you feel like you really should be able to beat. Okay. But now to me, the hope has got to be, well, you got right against the Rockies, and you can at least bring some of that back home to Petco Park. And I'll include Dylan Cease in that conversation. Now, it was a little bit of a struggle at times for Dylan Cease. This was not the best version of Dylan Cease today. He ends up pitching into the 6th inning, 5 innings total, 4 hits given up, 1 earned run. It was certainly a better outing for Dylan Cease than what we've seen in the past few. Now, Cease did throw a lot of pitches in 5+ innings, 102. And look, to be honest with you, this was the kind of game when you're staked to such a big lead against this Rockies team, albeit at the elevation. You are hoping Dylan Cease could go a little bit deeper in this game, but I'll put Dylan Cease in this category as well. Same kind of thing. Can this kind of start at least get him going in the right direction? Can it get him right? And we're going to find out the answer to that during this homestand and throughout the rest of this month. But after losing 3-0, really kind of a shocking loss on Friday night, not so much that the Padres lost the game to an 100-loss team. That's going to happen, but the fact that they got shut out on Friday night. After that, the Padres, to their credit, next 2 days in Denver, did what they had to do and took care of business, and they win this series 2 out of 3 with an 8-1 win against Colorado here today. We'll step aside when we come back. Full game recap, all the radio highlights. We'll go back to Coors Field, hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Again, the final score today, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score today, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1 as the Padres win a second in a row, and they take the rubber match of this 3-game series. Hope you're having a great Sunday, beautiful Sunday here in San Diego. Yes, also our first NFL Sunday of the season, and I will tell you that coming up later here on 97.3 The Fan, beginning I think I should know this before I start talking about it. Hold on here a sec. What time does our coverage of Bills Ravens begin today? 4:25 according to the powers that be. Oh, 4:30. Sorry. 4:30 according to the powers that be. So 4:30 our coverage of Bills and Ravens. What a first Sunday night football matchup begins here on 97.3 The Fan. But first things first, we got a lot to do on our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show as the Padres win it 8-1 against Colorado. Let's recap this series finale from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
The Padres got off to a quick start today against Rockies starter Tanner Gordon. Luis Arraez drew a leadoff walk. Manny Machado was next.
3-2 pitch. Arraez does not run. Manny sends it in the air to deep left center field. Moniak's at the wall. Looking up. It's going to go. 2-run homer. Manny Machado. His 23rd of the year. And 3 batters into this game. The Padres take a 2-0 lead.
Padres led 2-0 after the first inning. In the second, it was Mr. Jackson Merrill.
Sends this one in the air deep to left field. Beck is back again. Turns to watch. And gone. A home run. Jackson put it just over the left field wall. An opposite field shot. His 10th of the year. And the Padres have added to their lead. It's 3-0 here in the second.
Rockies got a run back in the bottom half of the third against Dylan Cease. Padres still led 3-1 through 3. In the top half of the fourth inning, it was Gavin Sheets.
Trying to take care of business here in the final 3 weeks of the regular season. Sheets in the air, deep to right field. Fernandez can only watch this one. Second deck for Gavin Sheets, his 19th of the season. And the Padres get that run back. It's 4-1.
Meanwhile, Tanner Gordon continued to struggle. He gave up a 2-out double to Jake Cronenworth. Freddie Fermin was next.
1-2 to Fermin. The pitch. Freddie hits it hard on the line into left center field. That's a base hit. Cronenworth rounding third. He'll come in to score. Second hit of the day for Freddie Fermin. It's an RBI single, and the Padres now lead 5-1.
Luis Peralta then came in to replace Gordon. He could barely throw a strike. Padres would load the bases, and a walk to Manny Machado brought in another run. The Padres led it 6-1. Let's go to the top of the fifth inning. Peralta still in the game for Colorado. Ramon Laureano dug in.
3-2. Laureano hits one in the air to deep left field. Beck is back. He will watch. It's going to go. Fourth of the day for the Padres as Laureano hits his 23rd of the year. And the Padre lead is now 7-1.
Fourth time this season, the Padres have hit 4 or more home runs in a game. They had a big-time lead later in the inning. A couple more singles against Peralta. Antonio Senzatella came in for Colorado, uncorked a wild pitch as the Padres plated another run. They had an 8-1 lead. Dylan Cease was solid. He pitched into the sixth inning. He would go 5+ in this game. 4 hits, 1 earned run given up, 2 walks, struck out 5. Did throw a lot of pitches, 102. 66 for strikes. Adrian Morahone came in, got out of the sixth inning with a double play ball. Morahone allowed a couple of singles in the seventh inning, but got an inning-ending double play ball in that frame as well. David Morgan, a scoreless eighth inning. Ron Marinaccio, a scoreless ninth inning with the Padres up big, and that was that here today. Final score, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1. Good stuff by the Padres as they improved to 78-65. They win a second in a row. Rockies dropped to 40-103. Final totals here today for the Padres: 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors. And for the Rockies, 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. Dylan Cease gets his first win on the road this season, so that's some good news. He improves to 7-11 on the year. Tanner Gordon takes the loss. He is now 5-6. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Padres win the rubber match of this 3-game series, 8-1 today in Colorado. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this.
When you watch people on TV, have you ever wondered what are these foam things that go over the microphone? Let me show you.
This is a windscreen. They're really helpful when you're broadcasting outside.
Without it, do you hear that wind? But with it on, I sound much more clear.
Welcome to a day in my life as a minor league baseball broadcaster. Start my day with a cup of coffee, then to the stadium. Go to my booth, spend the morning cutting video from the night before, catching up on email, and researching for tonight's game. Then I go home, shower, get my work clothes, and on this day I made a stop for lunch. Barbecue. Then I drive back to the stadium, get our equipment ready like setting up all the mics. I watch batting practice, talk to the players, coaches, write my lineups in, keep researching, and prep for my pregame interviews. Change from this to this. I head down to the field, host my pregame show on TV, then back upstairs where I broadcast every pitch on TV and radio.
And the Soft Poodles win.
When you watch baseball on TV or listen to it on the radio, have you ever wondered how you hear this sound so clearly? At my stadium, that sound comes from this mic behind home plate. It's wired all the way up to my broadcast booth, where I plug it in, and that's how you hear it. During my broadcast last night, everyone wanted me to say avocado. Could I do it? Beautiful night here in San Antonio. So nice it almost feels like that feeling when you break open an avocado, you spread it on a good piece of toast, you take a bite in the morning, and with that, the 2021 season, and with that, the 2022 season, and with that, the 2023 season, and with that, the 2024 season comes to an end. Good night. As a baseball broadcaster, many of you have asked me some version of this. Why do I peek down when a fly ball goes in the air? Let me show you. In my scorebook, I write down the defense and where every player is. That way, I can do this. 2-2 on the way. Swinging a drive into left. Going back, Matajevic drifting by the fence. He's looking up and say goodbye.
People keep asking how I go to the bathroom during games. Here's the answer. I run. The bathroom is far away. Really far. I only have 90 seconds.
The bottom half of the sixth
I'm
inning.
always out of breath.
Frisco 3, Amarillo 2.
How other broadcasters handle a foul ball. How I handle
3-2.
one.
Hit foul, straight back this way. Oh my goodness.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score today, the Padres 8 and the Rockies 1. Hey, player, the all-new Jamul Casino Resort is all for you. With a Lux Hotel, a relaxing spa, a rooftop pool, this is the place to enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. The all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place, now open. Padres win the rubber match of this 3-game set. They had 4 home runs in this game, one by Manny, one by Merrill, one by Sheets, and one by Laureano. Dylan Cease, solid in this game, pitched into the 6th inning. He goes 5, 1 earned run given up on 4 hits, walked 2. It struck out 5. Padres had 15 hits. So final 2 games of this series, the bats really came alive in a nice way. 18 runs combined on 31 hits, including 5 home runs. And as I said in the opening segment, now the question becomes, can the Padres now carry this into their series against the Reds at home? Was this truly a get-right couple of days for the San Diego Padres after what had been a very, very frustrating stretch where the Padres lost 5 in a row in 9 out of 11, but the last 2 days felt like the Padres took care of business, did what you feel like they should do against an 100-loss team in the Colorado Rockies. Let's go back to Coors Field in Denver and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Mike, you stopped a losing streak. You win this series. I imagine it feels good about the way you played today, if anything. Especially just going forward, the way you played today, what that means going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 days have been good, clean, crisp, well-played baseball games, putting it together, all sides, all facets, taking the series, getting back to doing that, because that's what this is going to be about, winning series. Dylan set the tone as we expect. Did a really nice job. Loved the sweeper and the shutdown innings when we were able to score early, and, of course, Manny gets on the board to get it started.
There's a lot of good things, but I wanted to ask you about those 2 guys in particular. Manny hasn't been Manny in a while. Dylan has not been Dylan in a while. What does it mean if you have both those guys refer to who you know they are this last month and moving forward?
Yeah, we know who they are. I mean, the back of the baseball card tells us they're, elite performers in their areas. And, Manny's been good all year. He's doing a little bit of a hiccup, and I loved his and our approach tonight overall. The homer to left center field, the, ball down the right field line. Lined out again the other way. I just thought his at-bats were fantastic, nice and short, with a great approach. And Dylan, we know what he's capable of, and he put on display tonight. Like I said, fastball was good life. Slider was good. I liked he was on the plate more on under, but the sweeper was really good. Gave him a little bit of off-speed look.
3 hits from Merrill, opposite field slug. It's got to be a real good sign.
Yeah, I just alluded to it, but again, with Jackson, same thing, the whole approach. Most of the times we're going to talk about our offense being in a good place or a player being in a good place. In this case, Manny, Jackson, advanced all the way through the lineup, but with Jackson, I'm driving the ball the other way. Opposite field homer, smoked the ball in the gap, another base hit the other way, triple away from the cycle. Just good to see him do that. The ball was coming off his bat really well. And just again, the advance all the way through the lineup were fantastic. We saw 211 pitches. And one thing that didn't get celebrated that I'll take responsibility for, about a week or so ago, we set a Major League Baseball record for most pitches seen in a game. So we're doing a lot of good things offensively, and they're showing up a little bit more on the scoreboard.
In terms of starting pitching this weekend, how encouraged are you about how much quality you got out of Nick and Dylan and Randy, and given how the last couple of weeks have gone in that department?
Very encouraged. Very, very, very encouraged. Again, we talked about what the recipes are to help you win games, and that's it. Nick got us through 6. Randy got us through 6. Dylan got us into the 6 today. And that's how you keep your bullpen fresh and use the guys appropriately. And offense does it more to get the lead. That's really how this is designed. And allowed our bullpen to pitch, and the bullpen was good. Morgan was good. 2 clean innings, and Morgan was sharp, curveball good, and Marinaccio came in. I like his aggression as well. Changeup was dirty and 3 strikes. So nice job all the way around.
Do you think that bodes well moving forward with King coming back?
No question, it bodes well. I mean, listen, it's just not any secret of this game. The ability for keep the game in a good place from a starting position. One of the old sayings that are true adage. The starting pitcher gives your team a chance to win. And I love our rotation. It's just a matter of time before it starts to click again. And I say again because it's been there for us a good portion of the season. And Dylan's a big part of this team for the last year, almost going on 2 full years now. And Nicky's come in and done a great job. We got Hugh Darvish scoring tomorrow night. I mean, who doesn't like that? You mentioned Michael coming back soon, and Randy Vasquez was really terrific the other day as well. So when you're talking about starting to roll out Levitt, King, Cease, Darvish, and then sprinkling the guys that have been good for us with Randy and so forth, we feel like we're in a very good spot.
You said you sacrificed defense with going with the shortstop.
I didn't say, but we want to make sure we keep people in their places as much as possible. That was a great play by Crowley, and we got the second inning.
Was the decision today is just like this is an offensive environment? Why not chase it as much?
Yeah, a more offensive environment. Dylan's not a huge ground ball guy, strikeout fly ball guy. Offensive environment. Righty going for them tomorrow a little different with the lefty going for them. Darvish a little more on the ground, so we'll continue to play the game.
Do you know TBA is beyond Darvish tomorrow?
Darvish and then TBA, and then I'll have to look at it. Levitt.
Okay, so maybe Michael on Tuesday.
You can draw your own conclusions.
Fair enough.
And I'm sure you
will.
And that's okay.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt following today's 8-1 win for the Padres against the Rockies. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. So you heard there, no surprise, Yu Darvish would be the next turn in the rotation for the Padres. Then you have Tuesday, which is interesting because Michael King last pitched in that Arizona Bridge League game at the spring training complexes on Thursday. So normal rest 5 days later would be Tuesday. So we'll see. I would assume by tomorrow we will probably know whether that is going to be Michael King returning or not. We shall see what the deal is, because Padres would then have to find a starter for Tuesday or go with the bullpen game, whatever they would elect to do. But it does seem like there would be a possibility Michael King would return on Tuesday. So we'll see about that tomorrow as the day goes on. But good news here today. Dylan Cease certainly better. 5+ innings, 1 run given up. Padres bats woke up in a big way last couple of days as they beat the Rockies today 8-1. When we come back, we'll talk about that defense from Jake Cronenworth at shortstop. shortstop in his first start there in nearly 3 years. We'll also talk about the Padres bullpen. Continue to wrap this one up. Final score, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1. Our postgame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Padres win it on this Sunday in Denver. The final score, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1, as we welcome you back into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show. Sam Levitt with you inside our Padres Radio Network headquarters here in San Diego. Padres score 8 runs on 15 hits. They had 4 home runs in this game, 1 by Manny Machado, 1 by Jackson Merrill, 1 by Gavin Sheets, and 1 by Ramon Laureano. Another highlight of this game, we told you pregame, it was really one of the storylines entering this game. Padres doing something a little bit different, starting Jake Cronenworth at shortstop, his first start there since October 5th, 2022. So nearly 3 years since Jake has made a start at shortstop for the San Diego Padres. Not only was he solid there today, he was spectacular. Here was our catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
Here's the 2-2. Back swings, hits it hard on the ground, left side. Diving stop, Cronenworth. Throws from his knees, in time to get him. What a play by Jake Cronenworth. And the entire Padre dugout jumped up when he snagged that ball on the dive. His first start at shortstop in almost 3 years, and as good of a play as we've seen all year.
Yeah, as good of a play as you're going to see a shortstop make. I mean, full extension dive to his right, had to cover a ton of ground, got up, no wasted motion, made a good one-hop throw to first base. Dazzling play by Jake Cronenworth, who was solid today. Really, really, really good shortstop today from Jake Cronenworth. Again, we're going to see with the left-hander on the mound tomorrow what the Padres do with their infield, but you would assume that this is going to lead to the Padres doing this a little bit more, and that is playing Jake at shortstop. It allows them to get Sheets and O'Hearn both in the lineup, move some pieces around, so it's a good option for the Padres, and today certainly gave you no reason to believe that Jake Cronenworth could not handle playing shortstop with some amount of regularity. We'll see how it all shakes out, but really good defense today by Jake in his first start at short in nearly 3 years. Let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Well, everybody out of the Padres bullpen was good today, but the one guy that stood out above the rest, Adrian Morejon, a really nice job, came in during the 6th inning after Dylan Cease did not record an out in that 6th inning, issued a leadoff walk. He then walked Mickey Moniak, the first batter that Morejon faced. It wasn't a perfect 2 innings, but you know what? He found his way through 2 scoreless innings, got a couple of double play balls to end both the 6th and the 7th. So gave up a couple of hits, walked batter. Okay, no big deal. Padres with a big lead at that point. 2 scoreless innings today for Adrian Morejon as he lowers his ERA to 1.79 on the year. David Morgan, Ron Marinaccio also pitching scoreless innings in the 8th and the 9th. Let's tell you about the Padres' heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the Heart of the Order, presented by Palomar Health, the official healthcare provider of 97.3 The Fan. Palomar Health, leading with heart for every patient. Palomar Health is reimagining healthcare.
Kind of interesting today, even though the Padres had 8 runs on 15 hits, only one guy as far as the starters in the heart of the lineup, Arise, Machado, and O'Hearn, 2, 3, 4 in the, you know what, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm looking at, how'd I do that? Wrong part of the lineup. Manny, O'Hearn, and Laureano. We do 3, 4, 5 for the heart of the order. Sorry about that. I don't know why. That's the first time that's happened since we started doing this segment. 3, 4, 5 spots. Manny had 2 hits. O'Hearn 0 for 4. Laureano had a hit. Now, one of Manny's hits a home run. The lone hit for Laureano, a home run. Manny with his 23rd of the season. Laureano also with his 23rd of the season combined between the Padres and the Orioles. So, O'Hearn 0 for 4, but Manny very productive out of the number 3 spot with the 2 hits and the 3 RBIs and the 2-run home run. Laureano a home run. So, all in all, a pretty productive day for the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5 with Machado, O'Hearn, and Laureano. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game. We'll also preview this series coming up against Cincinnati. It's a big series, especially for the Reds. It's a really big series, and if you think they're not coming to San Diego bringing their best, I've got news for you. It's a really important series for the Cincinnati Reds. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Final score again today in Colorado, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score today, Padres 8 and the Rockies 1 as the Padres win the rubber game of this 3-game series. They take 2 out of 3 in Colorado, and now they head home for a series beginning against the Reds. Start of a 7-game homestand tomorrow evening at Petco Park. We'll talk plenty about that coming up in just a little bit. Military Sunday on the Padres Radio Network is presented by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, no cost maintenance standard, so you get peace of mind standard. A lot of action to recap from around the major leagues. Let's get to it.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We only have one game going on right now. The Red Sox taking a 6-4 lead moments ago in the top half of the 9th inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that's where that score is right now. Red Sox 6, D-backs 4 in the 9th. Everything else has gone final. Mariners beat up on the Braves today, 18-2 in Atlanta. Mariners scoring 18 runs on 20 hits. Guardians beat the Rays 2-1. Dodgers beat the Orioles 5-2 in Baltimore. Brewers beat the Pirates 10-2 in Pittsburgh. Yankees beat the Blue Jays 4-3 in New York. White Sox beat the Tigers 6-4 in Detroit. Reds beat the Mets 3-2 in Cincinnati. Marlins beat the Phillies 5-4 in Miami. Twins beat the Royals 5-1 in Kansas City. Cardinals hung on to beat the Giants 4-3 in St. Louis. Nationals 6, Cubs 3 in Chicago. Rangers beat the Astros 4-2 in Arlington. Finally, Angels beat the A's 4-3 in Anaheim. And that is a look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. So where do things stand as far as the divisional and wild card standings right now? Well, Padres are 1 game out of first place in the National League West. Of course, the Padres do not hold the tiebreaker with LA, so we've said it many a times. They have to finish ahead of LA to win the NL West, but the Padres and Dodgers both winning today. Padres stay a game out of first place in the division. As far as the wild card, good news today. Padres now 2 games up on the Mets for the second wild card spot. They also picked up a game on the Cubs. They are 3 games behind the Cubs for the top wild card spot. Remember, the top wild card spot would host a National League wild card series. The Reds and the Diamondbacks at the moment are both 4 games out behind the Mets, 6 games behind the Padres. The Diamondbacks, if they lose that game against the Red Sox, they would drop to 4.5 back. We talked about the series against the Reds. The reason that's an important series is obvious. Reds are 6 games behind the Padres, but it's a direct opportunity for Cincinnati to pick up ground on a team that is right in front of them, and the Reds are only 4 games out behind the Mets right now. That is a doable deficit at this time of year still. So Reds are going to come in trying to play their best baseball, make no doubt about it, and that is part of the reason why it's a big series against the Reds beginning tomorrow night at Petco Park. But first things first, let's put a bow on this game. Padres win it 8-1. Let's hear our play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
3-2 pitch. Rise does not run. Manny sends it in the air to deep left center field. Moniak's at the wall. Looking up. It's going to go. 2-run homer, Manny Machado. His 23rd of the year. And 3 batters into this game. The Padres take a 2-0 lead.
Manny Machado, our play of the game, 23rd home run of the season, got the Padres off and running today in Colorado. 2-0 lead in the first inning. Padres would go on to hit 4 home runs. It would really not look back after that Manny home run. So for that reason, it is our play of today's game. Looking ahead to tomorrow, first pitch tomorrow night at Petco Park at 6:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:40 as the Padres begin a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds in the start of a 7-game homestand. Pitching matchup tomorrow, on the mound for the Reds, left-hander Nick Lodolo, and for the Padres, right-hander Yu Darvish. As always, if you missed any portion of our postgame coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the Odyssey app or wherever wherever you find your podcasts. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. A look at the final totals here today for the Padres. 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors. They left on 12. For the Rockies, 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They left on 6. Winning pitcher today, Dylan Cease, picks up his first win on the road this year. He improves to 7 and 11 overall. Tanner Gordon takes the loss. He's now 5-6. Time of game, it was 3 hours and 4 minutes, and the crowd at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, 27,555. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at Petco Park at 6:40. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Danucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score today, the San Diego Padres 8 and the Colorado Rockies 1. You'll hear programming from the Infinity Sports Network coming up next. Then 4:30 p.m., our coverage of the Ravens and the Bills on 97.3 The Fan.